So a surprising announcement that we got in the newest Nintendo Direct was the announcement of paid DLC for Splatoon 2. This is the Octo expansion, and you can finally play as the Octolings. They've been heavily rumoured for years and years, ever since the original Splatoon. They've been finding all the data files, miners have been trying to extract all the files of the Octolings, and now we finally have them playable in this new paid DLC, the first ever paid DLC for Splatoon 2. But I want to discuss in this video today why I have kind of an issue with this DLC. So let's get straight into this video. So first I want to discuss the story campaign of Splatoon 1. This will tie into my problem. But the story campaign of Splatoon 1 was, in my opinion, incredibly lackluster. It felt way too similar to the original Splatoon, and I get, how can you really change Splatoon, which is like a multiplayer shooting type game? Well, you can at least change the single player somewhat. Single player is something they could have easily overhauled, changed, but instead we got a game that followed the exact same structure as the original Splatoon. The hub worlds are set out the exact same. Go in kettles, you do the levels, and you go to the boss, and you go to the next one. No, I did not like that at all. Way too similar to the original Splatoon. They could have easily changed this up, and because of this, I didn't finish the full Splatoon 2 campaign. I did get quite far in it, never finished the whole thing, because I got so bored so fast. And if you want to say, hey, at least finish it before judging it, well, I'd finish it if it was interesting in the first place. So, yeah. If it was interesting to begin with, I would have finished it. But it wasn't. So, I didn't finish it, I'm afraid. And why this ties into my problem with this Octo expansion is that this Octo expansion actually looks different and new. It's so weird. It's set on like a subway, and there's like 80 plus levels. You play as an Octoling, a whole new story, new lore, new everything. And it just boggles my mind why this wasn't the original single player campaign. If this was the original single player campaign for Splatoon 2, then Splatoon 2 would have been a much more fresh experience. Fresh. But it would have been a much more original sequel than what we got. So it kind of saddens me that we now have to pay for this. And that's the issue right there. That's my issue. Is that we are having to pay for one of the only new things in Splatoon 2, when this could have been the original single player campaign for the game. Hell, they could have switched the campaigns where this Octo expansion could have been the original, and they could have released this new story campaign, which was the original one in Splatoon 2. They could have released that one as the DLC. But you know why they didn't do that? Because they knew people wouldn't buy it, because they know it's too similar to the original Splatoon. Not a lot of people would have bought that. I don't think. I really don't. If Nintendo, let's say Nintendo offered us maps of original Splatoon, original Splatoon maps, from the original Splatoon. Let's say they offered us that to buy. Would people really buy that? I don't think they would. So it's as if it's just as if they're selling old content again. If they did that, if they sold the original story campaign in Splatoon 2 as the DLC and made the Octo expansion the original story mode, because that's what I feel like they absolutely should have done. I would have basically not complained at all about Splatoon 2 if this Octo expansion was the original story mode, because the biggest issue I had with Splatoon 2 was that it was not a true sequel in my opinion. It felt way too similar in every aspect to the original Splatoon, apart from the Salmon Run, which does feel different. That is a new mode, but it's not even, it doesn't feel like that big of a thing, so it just didn't add much to the game, for me anyways. For me personally, my opinion, it did not add much. And I think the last issue I have, and I can't really say if this is an actual issue or not, it's just that $20 seems like kind of a steep price for DLC. And I know they said there's 80 plus levels or something, but $20 for any DLC for me is quite expensive. So if these are really short, crappy challenge levels, and there's just 80 of them, and that's $20, I don't like that. I think that's lame. But if these are full-fledged levels and there's 80 of them, it's fair. It's fair if you think about it. It's just at first glance, $20 is a lot for DLC. For any game, that's a lot. So if they don't deliver on that, it's just going to be disappointing, and it's going to make Nintendo look like thieving scumbags, which I'm sure they're not. I'm sure they're not, and I'm sure this will be justifiable. At least I hope so anyways. So that's basically everything I've got to discuss on the Splatoon 2 Octo expansion. Biggest issue is that this should have been the original single player campaign instead of what we were given, and now we're having to pay for one of the only new experiences in Splatoon 2. That's how I view it. Let me know how you view this situation in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Do you think I'm full of shit? Let me know. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, the link will be in the description. I discuss video games all the time. I discuss all of this Nintendo Direct stuff. I discuss Sonic and so much more. It's a great way to interact with me. If you want to see more of me, make sure to follow me on Twitter. And make sure to subscribe to me on YouTube for more videos like this. I've been discussing a lot of Nintendo Direct type announcements. I've been discussing that kind of stuff, and I'll be discussing way more Nintendo stuff in the future, so make sure to stick around for that if you want to see more. But with all that said, thank you for watching, and I'll definitely make sure to catch you all later.